Welcome back to the American Senior Benefits Family Hour alongside Todd Riley. I am Jay Stoll. Mark Onweill is man of the machine here. Now, Todd, transitioning a little bit to our specialty. New things are happening for Husker fans. New things are happening for the Nebraska football program. New things moving forward, which is excellent. But certain seasons are coming to an end as well. What's coming to an end?
Well, unfortunately, Nebraska football, but also annual election period. December 7th is their last chance for folks to change their drug plans, change their Medicare Advantage plans, take a look at drug plans, take a look at Medicare Advantage plans. So it's such a busy time for us, Jay, as you know. We're punching, as we say, from dark to dark. Although it gets dark at 4:30 now, but we're it's later than that when we normally get home during this time of year. 6 days a week, 7 days a week, but it goes so fast. The couple years ago the government changed it. We used to have till December 31st, and a couple years back they made it December 7th, which definitely crunches our timeline. But folks, if there's something you want to ask, if there's something you want us to review, if it's anything you want us to review, please, you've only got less than 2 weeks now. Give us a call, 402-614-9292, or Facebook, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, and let us review that. We want to make sure it gets in. We want to make sure that the company has it correctly, and we're running out of time.
Yeah, the clock is ticking, unfortunately, and that's not us telling you that. That is, unfortunately, the United States government telling you that.
I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
From the government. Now,
I'm not from the government.
What do you tell folks who are getting cards in the mail from certain companies saying, call this number to activate, and they're confused? I mean, they didn't order this card, but it shows up. What do we do in that situation?
That's a good question. And I hear every day from people. Unfortunately, not only is their mailbox literally overflowing, they're getting 20, 30 calls a day. They're seeing TV commercial. Every third commercial is one of the old former movie stars or old athlete telling them to call a number and promising them the sun and the moon, not knowing that every zip code's different, every county's different. What Joe Namath tells you on TV may not be available in your area at all. Check my zip code. Check my zip code. We're right here in Lincoln. We're right here in Kearney. We're right here in Omaha. We have an office in all those places. Right here in Shenandoah. Give us a call. This is where we live. This is what we do. We know exactly what's available. We're not licensed with every plan, but man, we've got a lot of them. We know what's available. We know what works best. We know what the doctors take and don't take. That's one we hear, unfortunately, Jay, every single January and February. I get a call from somebody that said, hey, I called that 800 number like you just talked about, Jay, and they talked me into this plan. Now I find out my doctor doesn't take it. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And with us, that doesn't happen. We'll look up your doctors. We know who takes what in this area. Again, putting people back in the people business. That's our tagline, whether you work for us or work with us. We're here to help you. And we know what's available. We know who takes what. Just give us a call. Let us help you.
Now, as promised last week, we are the experts here. We are going to drop some nuggets on you. So if you're listening and your parents are on Medicare or you yourself is on Medicare, you want to pay attention to this. There's advertisements coming in the mail that say how to get all of your Part B back. Todd, what does that really mean? Who can get that? Who cannot get that? Let's help people out.
That's a great one, because that has been the flavor of the year this year for commercials, is get money back on your Social Security, get back money on your Social Security. Number one, for a lot of that, to get all of your money back, you have to be on Medicaid.
So Medicaid and Medicare, correct?
Correct.
And majority of people are not on both of those.
That's for the financially indigent that can get Medicaid.
So then you can't get that Social Security back.
Not probably 100%. There are plans that do offer $25 a month back, $50 a month, $100 a month back. But what you give up in return for those is a prescription drug plan. Those plans normally do not offer a prescription drug benefit. So people will, and sadly, just because, again, it's all new, it's all confusing to them. They'll say, well, then I'll just pick up a separate drug plan. Well, they can't. with most of those plans. One knocks out the other. So you've got a person on, and I know I'm going to get a call in January and February from poor people that did take one of those plans. I got $50 a month back on my Social Security. Oh, but I take 8 medications that are now cost me $300 a month that used to cost me $40 a month. Help. What do I do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, those are the advertisements going around. So if you get a piece of mail, or your parents get a piece of mail, and it says, call this number to get your Part B, which is going to be $165, to get all of your Part B back starting in January. If you're not on Medicaid, tear it up. Next, TV commercials, and there's very popular ones saying the same thing. And I did some research on this one. How to get all of your Part B back. And there's a TV commercial going around that you call this number, right? And you can see if you can. Well, I've actually called it, and I've done some research. There is a little small community in Georgia, and I can't give names specific, right, but there's a small community in Georgia that the mayor has paid for all the residents in this small town have their Part B covered.
No kidding.
Yes. So these insurance companies found out about this, gave mayor said money to say, can we use this for advertising purposes? You want to talk about unethical. So when you see that TV commercial, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, saying how, and it's a very prominent figure saying how you can get all of your Part B back, you have to live in this small little town in Georgia. So when you call this number, their first thing they're going to say is, hey, do you live in this town in Georgia? No, I live here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh, I'm so sorry, you don't qualify for this. Hang on, we're going to patch it through to an agent to see what we can do for you.
Yeah. And then that's when they'd say, well, we can't get you 165 back, but we can get you 50 back or 100 back, not even checking the doctors or checking the drugs. That's I have said that for years to people. There are plans that offer those benefits. There has to be, or they couldn't do it by law. Mm-hmm. You know, they couldn't say it. But I always joke there's probably a little county in Maine. Well, now I know there's a little county in Georgia.
Georgia. Always in Georgia. If you have questions about Medicare, your parents are on it, give us a call, 402-464-5685. We can answer anything you need to know. Moving on. Man, $9.95 life insurance sounds really, really good, doesn't it? I tell you what is it? $10 per $1,000 of coverage, something like that.
Yeah. That's the other one we do see a lot or per unit. There's a famous company that says it's $4.99 a unit. Well, what do you think when you hear a unit? You think $1,000. But it's completely based on your age. If you're 45, it might be $1,000 as a unit. But if you're 75, it might be $250 as a unit. So it deceptive might be a little strong of a word, but it's not very clear what a unit is when that commercial comes across.
And you want to know why people are kind of side-eyeing us when we talk to them, is because we get put in that category of all this other crap and negative advertisements and hoodwinking. But it comes with the territory. And I've told people, I'm like, look, I know that you see this all the time, but I'm damn proud of what I do. I worked very hard. It's very hard to attain a license in this industry, and I've done that. So when I have people that actually have said, hey, are you a scammer, or you do this, that, and the other, I tell them, look, I don't appreciate that at all. I do not come and judge you on what you do for your living. You don't judge me. And when we stand our ground, because we know what the truth is and we know what falsity is. And that's why, like I said, these folks are just bombarded at this time. So if they're confused, if they need questions, or if they just have a misunderstanding, what can they do, Todd?
That's what we're here for, because we always say, if we can't help you, we're sure not going to hurt you. Look us up, American Senior Benefits Lincoln on Facebook, 402-614-9292. You can call us. Clear back, it's been like 20 years ago now. I remember reading the Chicago Tribune did a study of the most trusted professions to people and the least trusted professions. And I won't get the numbers exactly right, but I'll be close. Like the number 8 least trusted profession was insurance agent, but the number 2 most trusted was personal insurance agent. So in other words, as a whole, and it's because of those commercials, it's because of the people that call me in January and say, oh my goodness, they didn't tell me I lost my drug coverage. They didn't tell me my doctor wasn't accepted. That's why it is the 8th least trusted. But once they get a person, once they get a real human being, that and we're old fashioned folks, we'll still come to you. You know, it used to be your doctor made house calls, your banker made house calls. We're about the last people that still make house calls. You know, if you, I mean, you're welcome to come to our office, obviously, but we would be very tickled to sit across from your kitchen table with you and discuss it. And that's why I think, again, your personal insurance agent is the second most trusted person in your life.
Now, if you're listening right now and you take care of your mom and dad's health insurance, you take care of their Medicare, it's important to really review that and understand what's going on. I mean, I know a lot of, folks go on the internet and learn quickly. They Google stuff quickly and say, okay, this is what's going to be best for mom and dad. I know, I've done my research. You can call us, call the experts, right? Put the humility aside, get the help that's going to make sure that mom and dad are in a good spot.
Right.
Because you don't want to be the reason why if something happens that they're on the hook for a lot, and eventually you could be on the hook as well.
Right. Right. That's what we're here for. That's the reason we exist. 402-614-9292.
If you want to find us on Facebook, American Senior Benefits Lincoln. We will be right back after this on 93.7 The Ticket.